What's up, it's you for today's video with a full scientist Pokemon team. Victor, this one is for you. So I've never done one like this before. We're going to do Pokemon based off different scientists throughout the eras. Now, obviously there's a lot of them, so I just picked them from a list that was suggested, and I put it on one team. I had some really, really good battles too. I'll also explain what they were, most well known for and stuff like that. So today is going to be, I guess, a little bit of a history lesson as well as some Pokemon. So if you enjoy these different types of theme teams, let me know in the comment section, and let's get into it. All right, our first battle here, this is a random battle. They actually had a pretty interesting team. So we have a Haunter lead. So first off here is going to be Watson, of course, as Deoxys for the structure of the double helix structure of DNA. So that's what they were, known for there most. And Deoxys is literally a DNA Pokemon. So that's like a perfect fit for it. So I smelled a Shadow Ball from a mile away. So we're going to swap into, of course, Persian for Schrodinger's cat. Now, I'm going to try and explain this. So obviously Schrodinger was known for the quantum theory. And the Schrodinger's cat, basically it was like you put a cat in a box, right? But you only know if it's dead or alive if the box gets open. I think that's how the theory goes. And I'm not saying I'm going to explain this the greatest, so I'll do my best, right, how I could understand it. So there you go, Schrodinger's cat as Persian. I thought that was awesome. Also, obviously the toxic orb for the toxicity as well. I thought that was a nice little touch there with Saab. However, we're going to have a Chien Power coming in here, and that's going to drop me. So next Pokemon we're going to bring in is going to be Oppenheimer, of course, which is going to be for the Atomic Bomb. So I gave this Explosion and Screech, Magnet Rise, and Taunt. Normal Gem is the item, Soundproof is the ability, Max Attack and Max Speed. Sadly, with Electrode's low attack, it really was failing to take many things out. And it was hard to get a Screech off against Pokemon like Chien Power. Very, very powerful. We're going to go back into Watson now. Now, this was a Gravity Zap Cannon, Focus Blast, and Psycho Boost set. Max Special Attack and Max Speed, Timid Nature, White Herb as the item, and we've also got Pressure as the ability. Now, Gravity was on there to help out another Pokemon too, which you might be able to guess what that is. So Chien Power's gone, which is good because that was a very, very threatening Pokemon. So we got the Flutter Mane coming in here. They've got the boost in speed there. So obviously they're going to go for a Shadow Ball, but it was difficult because I didn't have a lot of Pokemon to actually swap into this at all. So I had to let the Deoxys go there, but I did have a plan get rid of this thing, hopefully. So now we're going to, of course, go into Flapple for Isaac Newton. So the whole strategy here was to use Grav Apple and Gravity at the same time, because that actually gives it an extra boost in power, which is really cool. It gives it a 1.5 times boost if used with Gravity. So really, really cool. So this is a Choice Banded Hustle set. It missed a lot of the time, but it was a really hard hitter. Had Grav Apple, U-Turn, Dragon Rush, and Sucker Punch, and Hustle and Choice Band and Terra Grass, Max Attack and Max Speed, Adamanation. So they had an Arbok here, which is interesting. So they had a couple of sweaty Pokemon, but then they had a couple of mean Pokemon, which is interesting. We have a Tyranitar coming in here too. So Tyranitar is not going to be too much trouble for my Flapple. So Einstein, obviously. So we had Einstein, for his theories of relativity, and E equals MC squared for the mass energy, and of course chilling. I gave it chilling, its chilling move, so I could sort of depict his sense of humor for chilly reception, right? Some science jokes. I might even tell some science jokes throughout today's video. I've got to think of one right now. Oh, I've got a good one. What do you call a really annoying chemist? A pain in the flask. There you go. There's your first shot. There's your first joke. That was brilliant. You guys have got to vote. The comment section. Tell me what you think of these jokes. So I managed to get a ring target off onto Tyranitar. By the way, I thought I could do a trick and ring target strategy. I thought that'd be pretty good. And this, Isaac Newton, of course, the laws of gravity and motion. That's for Isaac Newton. So I think I've explained all of them except for one. All right, so we have the Arbok coming back in here. Now, Arbok is most definitely going to have Gunk Shot and Coil. That's usually what it has. So I'm going to be swapping back into Iron Sight for Slowking, and there's not a lot I could have done there. Pretty much this Slowking set was terrible. It had Trick Room, Future Sight, Chilly Reception, and Trick with Ring Target and Regenerator. Max Health and Max Special Attack, Quiet Nature for Trick Room. All right, so I brought back in the Flapple. I've got Dragon Rush and I've got Sucker Punch. Gunk Shot, unfortunately, is going to outspeed me. I didn't know, what if they were running Jolly or Adam or not. I could have gone for Sucker Punch there, but they could have gone for Coil, so I wasn't really sure. So we're going to go finally into Necrozma. So Necrozma is for Maxwell, and he was to do with electromagnetism and the connection of light and the magnetic wave. So that's what I sort of looked and found for it. If you guys want to put some more information about these scientists, or you have another scientist you thought could work on this team, please put it in the comment section. I also like to read fun things like that. I only really have the most basic of sort of understandings, right? Unless you really are involved in that topic, you probably wouldn't need to know that. I sort of based this set all around light, as you can see. So I gave it Photon Geyser, Charge Beam, Terra Electric with a giant light bulb, and I gave it Morning Sun and Moonlight as well. This is a really interesting matchup here. So we had a Charizard. I thought, well, I'm not a bad matchup here. And then the Charizard went for Terra Dark. So like, oh, that's good that I went for Terra Electric here. Now Charizard, obviously is mostly a special attacker. So I thought, well, even with no cosmic power or anything like that, I should be able to live this. It was Max Health and Max Special Attack, Modest Nature with a Quick Claw. I also had Prison Armor as well. Prism Armor. So it had Terra Dark Bite. I was like, wow, okay. I was lucky I went for the Terra there because I got a lucky crit. So I managed to get a Morning Sun off there and heal me a little bit. I was also poisoned here by Gunk Shot, which absolutely did not help one bit. So Charizard is spamming Crunch against me. I was a bit worried that I might get a defensive roll. So at the moment, I pretty much just had to heal myself up here against Charizard because it was doing some pretty good damage. And I thought if I get enough heals up, I then can go for Charge Beam. Then the Charizard had a Quick Claw. I'm like, what is this? So they had some memes, and then they had some sweat as well. So it's like a mix of both on their team. So I'm going to go for Moonlight again here. I want to make it so I can go for Charge Beam. I can live the attack after a Charge Beam. So I'm like, all right, I've got enough health now. I can live Charizard's Crunch. I can use an attack, and then I can live the next one, and then I'm going to heal off right. So here comes the Crunch here. Doesn't do much at all, and now I can go for the Charge Beam. Now, Charge Beam with Terra Electric does some actual really, really good damage there, but I never got a special attack boost, which really, really sucks. So I needed that boost very, very badly, right? It has a 70% chance to boost, and I never got it. Now Charizard is starting to be forced to use Flare Blitz because it's a little bit more powerful. So I thought, all right, well, I'll go for Morning Sun and I'll go for, I'll heal myself off and then go for a final Charge Beam, right? Because if I got that boost on Charge Beam, I could have just attacked the next turn and won there. But I was like, damn, that really sucks. So I actually get going for a healing move here. And I figured that, I may as well just keep healing off because Charizard is taking recoil damage in case it was like a minimum or maximum, damage roll there. So I'm getting some hits off there, and it's doing around the same amount of damage here. The Charizard's Flare Blitz is doing around the same damage. So I thought, all right, well, I'll just go for the attacking move this time. And I think Charizard got a high damage roll there at the end. And that's the end of the battle. So I was a bit unlucky there at the end. One Charge Beam boost, it would have been enough. And Charizard actually almost fainted itself there to the recoil as well. So taken to my random opponent, Maya Ling. I don't know if you ever watched this video. Thank you for the battle. Let's get on to the second one. If you're enjoying the theme teams and you want to help support the channel, people, hit that like button. Leave me a comment below. And this battle was interesting. So I don't know what my opponent's name is, but they brought 4 Pokemon. Now, they had some sort of theme team going on here. I don't know if their Pokemon are nicknamed or not, like other nicknames in the Pokemon, but they had 2 Armorogue and 2 Cerulege, which I thought was really interesting. Now, I wasn't going to bring my whole team, but then I looked at their team and thought, well, you've got quite a few advantages against my team in terms of typing, so I'll bring them all anyway. And mostly Deoxys just set up Gravity and died. So I set the Gravity up with Deoxys, and then I went for a Grav Apple, and that took it all the way down to its Sash, which sucks. So I was trying to go for, I was actually trying to go for a one-hit KO on the whole team with Grav Apple. I'll tell you a battle I had as well, which is really cool. I didn't get to include it because, you know, the opponent had a very, very competitive team. But what I did, right, I used Deoxys, I set up Gravity, and they had a Majana, right? And I swapped in my Flapple, went for Terra Grass Grav Apple, and I almost one-shotted a Majana with Grav Apple. That's insane, right? That's how powerful it is with Gravity, Hustle, and Choice Band and Terra Grass. It's absolutely, and that was a bulky set too, so it was absolutely insane damage. All right, we got down the first Armor Rogue. Now we got Ceruledge coming in. So I thought, I've got the option to go for Bite, or I've got the option to give this a Toxic Orb. But I figured, and I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to go into Slowking because I want to give this battle was actually for science, right? I thought this would be a great battle for this team to try out as many scientific things as possible, right? So I went for the Trick and Ring target because I wanted to land normal type moves on the Ceruledge, right? We're going to remember, this is PIMPNITE's channel, right? We got to push the things to the limit. So we're going to go for that Trick. We gave Ceruledge the ring target, so now I can use normal type moves on a ghost type, and also got the Focus Sash. Now, after seeing the second Focus Sash, I sort of figured that maybe they've got Focus Sash on every single Pokemon. I don't know. Oh, we've got Chilly Reception coming up. That means I'm going to have to tell another joke soon, all right? So go for Future Sight there. Slowking's future is not looking too bright, though, so I'm probably going to have to swap it out. However, the opponent is going to go for a Sword Dance here, so they're boosting up their attack. All right, it's time for another science joke. All right, it's a good one. What do you get when you cross a hip hop singer with the theory of relativity? You know, Einstein's theory, right? E equals MC hammer squared. There you go. E equals, you know, they can't touch it. Yeah, there you go. So there you go. Beautiful joke. There are 2 jokes now. 10 out of 10, obviously. Hope you guys are enjoying these science jokes. I'm gonna hopefully some more Chilly Reception so I can tell you some more fantastic jokes here. So we got another Sword Dance here. Here comes Future Sight, and it takes out Ceruledge, which is excellent. So that's 2 Pokemon down, but you know, for science, I've sacrificed half my team already. But it didn't stop there. I wanted to do some more, right? Now, our next Pokemon here is going to be Armor Rogue. So we've got an Armor Rogue and a Ceruledge left here. Now, I've got Bite, which is good. Before I'm going to do that, I'm going to go for a Switcheroo because I want to give this another item. I also want to see what item they've got too. So I gave a Toxic Orb to the Armor Rogue, but they didn't have an item. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Maybe they wanted less knockoff damage or something like that. I thought maybe they'd have room service, but they didn't. So no item on this one. So we got that Toxic Orb going. So I thought, all right, I'll swap out Schrodinger's cat, and then we'll go into one of my other Pokemon, like, you know, Slowking or something like that, and they might go for a Fire type move. Then they went for Sunny Day. I was like, Trick Room and Sunny Day. What sort of set are they cooking up here? I'm interested, right? So I thought, well, any fire moves are going to do donkeys. Let's go for Trick. I want that Toxic Orb back so I can trick it to another Pokemon for science, right? So I gave them a Focus Sash. I know they were happy about that. And I got that Toxic Orb. Then they went for Will-O-Wisp. I was like, oh, I think they've got Hex or something. Some sort of strategy is going on here. So Will-O-Wisp, Sunny Day, and Trick Room. So, you know, props to my random opponent. I was having a lot of fun in this battle too. It's like, it's not often you find random people that actually have creative sets that don't, you know, they just won't want to press the A button with their strongest move and, you know, strongest Pokemon. All right, it's time for another Chilly Reception here. I got to come up with another one. All right, who was the smartest pig in science? Iron Swine, get it? Iron Swine, there you go. There's 3 absolute corkers in a row there. All right, so it's a 5-spin set. Okay, so Sunny Day, Trick Room, Fire Spin, and Willow Mist. Very, very nice. I've actually run a similar set myself. I don't know what Sunny Day was for. Maybe I guess to boost Fire Spin damage or get rid of any other weather or something like that. I don't know, but interesting. Anyway, we're going to go for a Sard there, and that is the end of the Armor Rogue. This has been such a fun battle. And the last Pokemon was a .com, and I was like, bro, no, you were the chosen one. Why do you have this trash on your team for? So we're going to go for the trick again there. We got to get rid of that Master Ball. I don't know, don't they come with a Master Ball, but instead of a Master Ball, I got a Shell Bell. So now we've got a Bitter Blade, and that is going to take out the Schrodinger's cat. So we've got 2 Pokemon left. We got we got Slowking, and we got Necrozma left, right? So as you know, Slowking is pretty bad, so I can't do a lot with it. And I thought, well, if I get a Future Side up here, then I can bring in Necrozma, and also it can be useful with Trick Room as well. And then I can go for like Charge Beam and those sort of moves, right? Now, I've also noticed my opponent hasn't Terra'd yet either, which is interesting. So I don't know if they've just got, I don't know, Terra Ghost or Fire or Grass or something like that, you know? So I gave him a Toxicorp here. They must have been thinking, what the heck is this guy doing, right? Like, I've pulled out all these like really unique and cool strategies during this battle. So the snow has stopped there, and I was a little bit tempted to tell another joke here. I was ready to go for another joke. Come on, we need one. We need another science joke. I'm trying to cook one up in my test tube right now. All right, we're gonna go for Future Sight there again on the Ceruledge. Ceruledge doesn't have a lot to hit me with. Obviously, it's only got Bitter Blade, so it clearly doesn't have a Ghost move. Otherwise, you would have probably used one already. I think I would say. So that is my last Pokemon now. We got some toxic damage, which is going to be good too. Okay. All right. So we've got the Photon Geyser and we've got Charge Beam. So I thought I'll go for the Terra Electric. I want to show them the Terra I've got on this. I always find it kind of curious whether, you know, if I do battle random people, if they understand what the theme team is. Maybe if they're they don't understand English, but maybe they'll understand from the Pokemon and the moves that I bring. I always wonder that. So I got a Charge Beam damage off there. We got a Bitter Blade here. Bitter Blade does some good damage, but as I said, I've got max health there, so that's going to do, you know, it's probably going to be like a 3-hit KO against me, outside of maybe even a crit. I reckon I would live that. So it did get a bit of recovery back there, so I thought, well, I've got Moonlight, I've got Morning Sun. Maybe what I should do is go for a healing move and then finish him off with the Charge Beam. However, we have got a Terra here. It's like, ooh, what Terra are they going to have? I'm curious. But they went for Terra Fighting. I'm like, bro, you realize there's a Future Sight coming in. So I went for the Moonlight. And I got that health back. I'm like, are they going to go for close combat or something? But they went for Bitter Blade as well. Bitter Blade does just a little bit under half here. And Future Sight, I think they either forgot about the Future Sight or they just KO'd themselves for science, for having a hack mon. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this battle. I don't know what this battle was, but it was really, like, it was lots of fun and perfect for a science or scientist theme team. This battle was so much fun. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that one. We never know. There might be some more science jokes later on. Let's get on to battle number 3 here. This is a battle against Alistair, I don't know, another random battle. And we have a Meowscarada lead. So Deoxys has got Focus Miss, and I thought I'd go for that. And this is good because it actually lands first go, no Focus Sash, no Troll item or anything like that. So not a bad start there. This Deoxys was a pretty strong Pokemon, but a lot of the time I did try and use Gravity and then it would die. So some battles it was good, some it was just like useless, right? So we know Skeledirge is obviously just going to go for a Shadow Ball here. So I thought, well, if I go into Persian, I can then go and get my Toxicorp up. And then I can trick the item to Skeledirge. And Skeledirge might have a good item like, say, Assault Vest or something like that, which could be, you know, a handy item to get rid of, or a Throat Spray. So I thought, we'll go for Switcheroo, and we'll see what item the Skeledirge actually has here. So I gave it a Toxicorp, and I got a Flame Play. So, like, that's not too bad. At least that's going to power, it's going to be, power down the fire moves a little bit by not having it, but it still does a lot of damage here. So I thought, what should I do? Should I go for bite and go for flinches, or should I go for protect and then a bite? Because I'm probably not going to live this turn anyway. I thought about this for a bit. I was like, do I go for protect? Like, yeah, let's go for protect. And then I'll go for bite and probably faint there. So that's probably the best damage output that I can possibly do. Unless I get very, very lucky with bite and get a flinch, like back-to-back flinches, which probably isn't going to happen. So that's what I thought was my best play there. So we're starting that Toxicorp up on the Skeledirge. At very least, I might be able to get them to swap there and reset all their, their Torch Song boost. So going for bite, as you expect, it does very little damage, and then I'm going to die to Torch Song. Not much I could have done there. Not too much at all. So they've got, what, +2 or 3 in special attack now. Okay, so we've got it down to around half health, which is good. Now what I'm going to do is go into Deoxys, because I'm going to see if I can bait like a Shadow Ball, I thought, or I could go for Psycho Boost and finish them off. This does have a lot of special attack. It's also got Stellar as well. I thought Stellar was quite appropriate for Deoxys. Sadly, my Psycho Boost misses. They lucked out there because that definitely would have killed it, and Deoxys is going to go down. I mean, Deoxys would have gone down to an Astonish. Let's be real, right? It's got hardly any, defenses at all there. So now things aren't looking too good at the moment. So we're going to go back into, Flapple here. So I thought, I was really tempted to go for Grav Apple, but I was like, nah, I'll go for Sucker Punch. I don't want this living for some reason. If it misses, that would be bad too. So Skeledirge is down there, which is nice. This is a powerful, powerful Pokemon with Hustle. So in comes Smithsonian. I don't know what that's supposed. Does anyone know what that's supposed to mean? So we got Sunsteel Strike here. I was like, I might be able to live this kind of badly. Let's see. And I did. I lived it, which is good. So I figured I could go for Sucker Punch again. At worst, they'll swap or use a status move. So they decided to swap there. So that's not all that bad. They don't 100% know that I'm choice banded either. We've got, what was that, Kahuna? Coco? I don't know. I don't know. Is this something to do with Sun and Moon that I'm not remembering? So I swapped that out, and I thought, well, I could go into. I almost, I was very, very close to going to Electrode there for Soundproof. I should have done that, but it's cool. So I've got Ironstein here. We got that Future Sight. And I thought, well, I can go for Future Sight, and then I could go for maybe Trick Room. We'll go for that. And if I'm able to get another attack off, maybe I could go for Chilling Reception. But my sort of priority there was to get the Future Sight and Trick Room up. In hindsight, maybe I should have had an Ice Pokemon on my team too for Chilling Reception. I pretty much only put that on there for Regenerator and for the fact that Ironstein had a good sense of humor, right? So we got that Trick Room going now. This surprisingly wasn't a Throat Spray set. I was a little bit surprised by that. And now, yes, we got another joke here. Okay. I got to think of another one. Oh man, I'm trying to think of something. I'm trying to think. It's going to come to me in a second, all right? Good things will come, right? So we're going to swap into Crosby anyway, and we're going to pop that air balloon. So that's the end of Como there. Okay, I gotta think of a good one. We've done an E equals MC squared one. I need to know more about this. Oh, I got a good one, right? This one's to do with electricity, right? From the Crosby. Who was the first electricity detective? Sherlock Holmes. Get it? Holmes. There you go. There's 4 perfect jokes for you. I don't know if I can figure out another one right. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed these scientific jokes so far. We got a Terrapagus, a little Timmy Terra, and they're spamming Terra Starstorm. So it's doing a lot of damage here. I really need to get some damage and try and finish this thing off. Now, I do have Morning Sun and Moonlight. I did actually think about going for Moonlight there, but I just wanted some damage on this thing because it was just so, simply so tanky. Sadly, it didn't do, so much damage to me, and my Necrozma is going to faint. But that's okay. I kind of wanted to rely on some of my other Pokemon for once, because this was a pretty good Pokemon once it got a few charge beams up. So we're gonna go to Einstein now. Now I've got Future Sight. I thought that could be a good idea to go for. The thing about the Future Sight too is whenever there was a Dark type, I could go for the Galaxy Brain and then trick them the Ring Target. That's what I thought was pretty cool. So we got that Trick Room running out now. That's gone. I've got Trick Room, and I think I'm gonna have to tell another joke here. I'm gonna have to tell another joke. Now I'm regretting having so many jokes now. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I told another joke there. We got the Isaac Newton U-turn, and that is gonna take our Terrapagus, which is good. I would have been very, 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 very sad if that one actually missed there. Okay, what did the asteroid say when the reporter asked them a question? No comment. Get it? No comment. Instead of comment, All right, there we go. Got 5 absolute bangers there. In comes Solgaleo again. It's taken a fair... Now, this was BS, right? So I thought they may have a run at Earthquake, and I got that electromagnetism, for the scientific team, and they went Flare Blitz instead. I was like, okay, that's good. They got rid of the health, but Flare Blitz burned me. You wouldn't read about it. So I'm looking at Solgaleo's health. I'm looking at Electro's fat attack stat, and I'm thinking this equation doesn't match up. So we're gonna have to go for Explosion. I was like, I can't go for Screech because I'm cooked if I go for a status move this turn, and all I've got left is a choice banded Flapple. So I went for Explosion here. My theory wasn't too solid, and I was hoping for a breakthrough. So we got that normal gem there, and it failed to take it out. So that burn completely screwed me over. Back to the drawing board, So I've got one more Pokemon left here, and Psychic too. It's like a mixed attacker one. Interesting. Very, very interesting there. So I've got one more Pokemon. I thought of going for Sucker Punch, but they know I've got that, and I know what their last Pokemon is, right? So I thought maybe I should go for U-turn because they've got an Ogerpon. The only thing with Ogerpon, it is fast. It's going to be faster than me, but I was like, wonder what moves you've got, to use against me. Like, a grass move is not going to do very much. So I just went Terra Grass, and then I went for U-turn, and hope for the best here. Here comes the Ivy Cudgel, and that's still enough to take me out. Sadly, I would have had to have a bit more health back. But there you go. I was maybe a bit unlucky there on my Electro, because then with my Flapple, maybe I could have gone for a different move there. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think I was getting past Ogerpon regardless there. Let's get on to the next battle. This one is against Father Brian, and we actually have we actually got a couple of theme teams coming up too. If you're enjoying the video so far, make sure you hit that like button. Tell me all about how's your day going. Tell me your scientific your favorite scientist or science facts. I always like to hear these sort of things. I wonder how many of you are into that sort of stuff. And I love to read your comments, so put something below for me while I eat my breakfast, right? It's funny, I say that because in Australia, typically, when you folks are watching my videos, it's like I'm just waking up then, in the morning, or you've commented, so I upload them during my nighttime. That's why I'll say, for tonight's video, because it's actually nighttime for me. So we got a bit of a problem here, but I've got Focus Miss and Gravity. So I set the Gravity up against the Sand/Alola, and we got a Snowscape here. Thankfully, I don't need to tell another joke there. I'm actually trying to think of one at the moment. I've got one. I've got one. Yes. All right. Hopefully, I use chilly reception again. So we got that Focus Miss, and the homie Sonic is not gonna dodge that one. Next Pokemon here is Gliscor. Now, Deoxys won't do a lot to Gliscor. Maybe a Psycho Boost, but that won't kill. It will do a lot, though. So we're going to go into Slowking. Now, this is going to hit me with a knockoff, and it's unfortunately going to get rid of my Ring Target. So I was kind of hoping to get rid of someone's item and give a Ring Target. But alas, I couldn't do that. So the Gliscor's going to have X-Scissor, which is interesting, and I went for the Future Sight. So Gliscor's special defense isn't amazing. So I thought this, should do a pretty good job at damaging it. So I estimate like about 3/4 of, Gliska's health there. So the snow is going to stop. Slowking is down, so I'm sorry, I can't tell you any jokes in this battle. We still got a couple more battles yet. There's still some opportunities. So we're going to bring back the Deoxys. I've got Psycho Boost ready to go, and I'm actually going to land. I don't know why that actually misses for, but about 3/4 damage. I got that special attack drop, and I've got White Herb too. The idea of that is not only do I fix my drop stat, knockoff actually isn't going to be at full base power. So Deoxys managed to live that and finish off Gliska with a future sight, which is awesome. So that combination worked brilliant there. Nicely done. Next Pokemon is Shadow. Also, this battle was like recorded on my PC when it was like completely almost dead. So there might be a few little flickers there. It's not like the Switch or anything like that. We're also on the Switch 2 as well. So it's, maybe apart from this battle, everything's very, very crisp. So we got that Shadow, we got Knuckles and we got a Dark type. See, I should have guessed that just from the nickname, but now I can see why it was Terra Dark for. So it's boosting its attack and defense. Now I do have Focus Blast here, which is going to be handy. It's also got White Herb too. So I've got Focus Blast, and that misses, which sucks. Like if that landed, that would have done a lot of damage. So it's going to use Low Kick. I actually lived that, which is a bit of a surprise, I guess, because I resisted it, but still, it's Deoxys. And that is the end of Sandstone. So I think they tried to disrespect me there. I'm sure they had better moves than that. So I think the trolling backfired there. Unless that was their only move, their only move to hit me. I don't know, if it's to do with the theme team or something. So in comes Scyther, and Scyther actually dodges another X-Scissor. So it's a more X-Scissor. This is the most I've seen X-Scissor used in a long time, That's the end of Deoxys. So we're going to bring in Schrodinger. We got that Switcheroo. We got that Protect. So firstly, I'm going to use Protection. That's a good thing to use. And then we can get that Toxgorb. Then I feel like I can do a Switcheroo. And if this has, say, Everlight, that'll help me out a lot. Now, I also notice it's got Double Team too. So I do not want a bulky Pokemon with Evasion, because that's going to be a big pain to get rid of. So I actually changed my mind and I decided to go for an attacking move instead. But as you can see, with Everlight, it's able to tank my Facade pretty well there. That was like a 3-hit KO, which is pretty impressive. So I've got Facade, I've got Switcheroo. I thought, well, let's go Switcheroo. It might have, what if it's got a status move or something like that? I think Scyther lost Roost. So many Pokemon lost Roost. It's hard to remember every single one of them, but all these Pokemon had Roost, and then out of nowhere in the next gen they all lost it for some reason. So we've got that Switcheroo there. I guess it all depends on generations too, what TMs there are, and then all those TMs go missing, and then suddenly all the Pokemon can't learn them, I guess. So more double teams from this Scyther. I don't know what sort of set this is, whether it's just like some scumbag evasion set with normal attacking moves, or there's some strategy or something behind it. But the good thing is we had that Toxicorb on there, so now it's going to be less bulky, and if my Facades do miss, at least it's going to eventually die to the poison. So it seems to be a stalling set. So it's got Double Team and Protect and X-Scissor. Actually, it was kind of helpful for them too that I was poisoned, but the Protect was sort of working against them as well, because they were also poisoned, So Scyther's got I'd say about let's say 3 turns left here, but if I land a Facade, it's all Ogre. And I did land one, and that is the end of Scyther, which is good. So that's 5 Pokemon down. Now, the last Pokemon here is going to be Hitmonchan. So I'd say this has, Mach Punch or even a Fight. It doesn't really matter, right? But I had Detect as well, so okay. So I'm gonna faint to my own Toxicorb. So that is the end of the Persian. But I still got 2 more Pokemon left, and I believe we haven't. Both of us haven't actually terrored yet. So I've got Necrozma, which I feel like is going to be good for that. But I don't know. Oh no, they've already terrored that the Dark Terror, right? So I thought I just want to see what this set is before I swap that in, just in case. I've got Grav Appalite, which will do lots of damage, and I've got Dragon Rush. But a lot of the time for this sciencey team, I did like to go for Grav Apple because that was, that was the sole purpose of this team as well. So I went for a U-turn just to see what move they're going to do there first, and it missed, and they had Fire Punch. So like, all right, it's got all the elemental punches. So second U-turn is going to land lots of damage there. So all I have to do now is take out the Hitmonchan, and I've got my I've got Necrozma in the back, so I've got my Photon Geyser. So here comes a Fire Punch. Actually, that's an Iron Fist set. That's actually doing pretty good amounts of damage there. I can tell. So no fighting moves there, and I also had Charge Beam as well. I know what I was. Oh, I know what I was thinking. So what I was thinking now, I remember when I did this battle. I think this is one of the first few battles I might have done on the stream. I actually forgot that they'd done a Terra. So I was like, oh, I'll go Terra Electric here. And because I know they're going to go Terra soon. So I actually forgot that they did Terra Dark. I would have just gone for the Psychic attacking move anyway, but it's pretty much almost killed it regardless. So I had Mega Punch as other move. So I guess they got to see what my other... Then I realized, I was like, oh, they've already done a Terra. So yeah, that is the end of the battle anyway. That is the end of the Hitmonchan. Sometimes I forget if I do a lot of battles per day, so the battles sort of sometimes all roll into one. I forget if they've done a Terra. But anyway, cool team there. Hope you enjoyed that. Let's get on to battle number 5 here. Yeah, battle number 5. We've got 6 battles today, by the way. So next team here, we got another theme team. Let me know if you can guess what these theme teams are in the comments. So we got a Magikarp lead here. I'd say Magikarp probably has a Focus Sash. That's what its normal thing is. And it's going to go for a Tackle. So I felt the need... Oh, yeah, it's joke time. All right. I hit my wrist at a high frequency. It hurts. Get it? It hurts. H-E-R-T-Z. Get it? There you go. There's, is that 6 jokes? Oh, okay. There we go. I got 6 jokes for you. 6 scientific... jokes. I don't know if I've got any more. I really don't. I really don't. Anyway, so we got this Magikarp. I don't want to lose to Magikarp with Flail. Look how much Tackle did to me. That actually was a lot of damage. So I got Zap Cannon. I thought it was appropriate. It landed. And of course, Magikarp had the Focus Sash. I thought, well, hopefully it doesn't attack me with Flail because I might lose Deoxys here and I might have to quit Pokemon forever, right? But it didn't paralyze. It almost took me out. I was like, holy smokes. So we finished it off with a double Disrespect Zap Cannon, and that is the end of Magikarp's entire family tree. There won't be any more Gyarados ever again. Next Pokemon we got here is going to be Basculegion. A Basculegion female. So this is actually primarily a special attacker. I just went for Psycho Boost here for some damage. I know this thing has a fat amount of health, so I knew that it would obviously live. So any move was virtually going to take out Deoxys at this point, even and it was a physical set, so it had Crunch. So like, okay, that's cool. That crit obviously didn't matter at all. I think that would have taken me down. From full health anyway. So the snow is going to stop. We're going to slide into Flapple again. And we're going to go for Grav Apple. There you go. That animation is so perfect for the Scientist team. So that is the end of the Basculegion. So we got 4 more Pokemon left. Next Pokemon here is Combi. I was like, oh, this is gonna resist it, but I was so tempted to go for Grav Apple there because I wanted to see the damage. I was like, let's do it. But Combi outsped me. I think it's a Choice Scarf Combi. It wasn't. It was a Throat Spray Combi. Only on PIMPNITE's channel, right? So I was going for Adamant, so the homie Combi outsped me. Oh, he lived. Combi was the GOAT, right? So we dropped Combi's incredible defenses, so I had to swap out against a Combi, only on PIMPNITE's channel. And we're gonna go into Electro because we got that soundproof, right? But it used Gust. It used Gust instead. So I've got Explosion. I was like, oh hell no, I don't want to use Explosion on Combi. This is gonna be a waste, I want to use Explosion on a good Pokemon, so I had to swap out the Electrode. I was hoping it would just have Bug Buzz, and then I would have to make them swap there. So we went into the Schrodinger, and we got Endeavor here. And I was like, damn. Well, at least I will be able to outspeed her. Right These last two battles, I did them at the same time too, if there's any little graphical glitches. So I took out the combi there, which is good, and we've got 3 more Pokemon left to take out there. But that combi was scary. Next Pokemon is going to be Escu. I've got Facade. I thought, you know what? I'm not going to go Facade because it's got Ice Face. I'll get no damage on it. So how about I go for the switcheroo and give it a Toxic Orb? And I actually received a Choice Specs there. So it's a Choice Specs Escu, which is interesting. So that's going to take out my Persian. So I've got four more Pokeball left. So I thought, well, if I've got a special move, this will be good. So I can go for Future Sight. That should do some really, really good damage there. And I've also got, you know, I didn't really want to tell a bad joke. I mean a good joke because that would increase it even more and help its ability out. So here's Freeze Dry. That does about half my health. I was okay to swap in because after that choice, choice specs would have done a lot. I think that nearly would have fainted me. So we got some toxic damage there on Escu, which is good. I have a feeling they're going to go for that move again. I've got Tricky. I did actually think about stealing the item back, but I thought, nah, I'll do a raw swap there with no joke because I don't want to activate the Ice Face ability or help that activate again. And I'm just going to sack off this, right? I'm just going to sack off the apple because I've got some other Pokemon left there. And I can't do anything with my Electrode against this either, so I need to save Electrode for later on. So I've got Necrozma, so I thought, well, we'll go into... You know what we'll do? We'll go into Electro because I know that Future Sight is coming. So if I go for maybe Taunt or Magnet Rise there, that might help me for the next Pokemon. I just have to be able to live this turn, you know? So I went for the Magnet Rise, hoping that Future Sight was indeed going to take out the Escu, right? And they had Blizzard on this set. Blizzard almost takes me out. Future Sight does land, and it does not take it out. The Toxic, however, almost takes it out. So it's like, damn. I'm cooked, right? I've got to swap it out. So I was like, all right, I'll do that. I'll go back into the Slowking, or I can even go into Necrozma. I decided to keep Necrozma in the back, though. So here comes the Freeze Dry. I guess they figured I'd swap again. And yeah, I can either tell a bad joke, a good joke, and then I could go for Future Sight again. So I had some options there. So we worked around the special Escu. I need a sip here, people. 1 second. Science is your science does tire you out, you know. So we got a Corphish coming in here. Corphish has got Guillotine. I was like, oh no, I got to get rid of this. Now I got to give props to who animated Corphish because I like how its little claws. They're just sort of nipping back and forth. That looks good. Instead of just hanging there doing nothing. So, you know, I like attention to detail. I don't like that, though. So, Guillotine is going to land and, well, Ironstein is going to tell his last theory, I guess. And we got 2 more Pokeball left. We got Slowking, Electrode, and we've got my Necrozma. So, you know what? I was thinking... I'm not going to live it. I bet you it's got some other move than Guillotine, you know, that's going to be able to faint me. So I was like, I'll just go for Explosion. I'll take the Corphish out with me, and then Necrozma can deal with the last Pokemon, hopefully. There was a little bit of an unfortunate thing here. This was an Everlight Corphish, so it lived it. That wasn't even a 2-hit KO with a normal gem. This is bad. And it had Chilling. Bro, that was like the best counter. So Corphish, however, takes the Future Sight. And thank goodness. That was like defensively bulky. What the heck? So we're going to go into the Necrozma here. And I'm ready to go. And the last Pokemon is Dolphin. Wait, it's a Palafin? It's a Palafin, but it's not in its hero mode. So I was like, all right, we go for the Terra Electric. We get that fat charge beam KO in one shot, right? But I don't know. It depends. It depends what the terror is going to be. There's always a thing, you know. They always got that secret terror, whether it's going to be a defensive one or an offensive one, you know. The Dolphin is going to go for the bulk up here, and that's going to increase its attack and defense. So I just went for charge beam. I thought, well, I've got nothing to lose here. This will do some big damage. It might even take it out too, and it lived it pretty well, actually. A lot better than I thought. And it had leftovers. I was like, is this like max health and max special defense? I think so. Like, to live it so well, it must have been, right? So now we've got a Terra, because it makes sense, because they had bulk up on leftovers. So I think max health and max special defense. And this has Terra Fighting. It's like, oh, okay. I don't know what move it's going to use, but then it used Drain Punch. It's like, that makes sense. Drain Punch doesn't do a lot, but then again, it's a Necrozma, right? Very, very bulky Pokemon. But I do like that set. That's actually pretty cool. So we're for fighting guys are here. I didn't know they were going to go for fighting, and actually that was similar to the Ceruledge battle earlier on. Both died to a special move there. But that is the end of the Dolphin, and that is also the end of battle number 5. Did you guess that team? Put a below in the comment section if you did. Let's go on to battle number 6. We got one more battle left here. One last battle. This is a battle against Mr. T, and we also, as I mentioned, we also got another team here too, if you can guess it. All right, first Pokemon here is going to be a Morgrem. You don't get to see Morgrem very often. It's quite a rare Pokemon. Matter of fact, I've actually done a Morgrem sweep. I did like this Metronome nasty plot set. It was actually pretty fun. So we've got a Swagger set on my Deoxys with Prankstar, and it has Mirror Herbs. That's going to boost its attack. Now, the problem about this is if I do hit myself in Confusion, it is going to do a lot of damage. And if I get hit by a Dark type move from Morgrem, it's going to do a lot too. But I managed to get the Gravity up, which is good. So I've got Gravity up. I thought, well, I can either go Zap Cannon, or I can swap here against this. So I decided to conserve the Deoxys for a little bit later on, and swap out to another Pokemon. So I went into my Flapple here, and it's going to use Sucker Punch. That was good. So I do know its physical moves pretty well because I have used it, but I had Play Rough as well, and that outsped me. So I was like, damn. Actually has a pretty good speed stat, Morgrem, so it's not really like Grimmsnarl. It's a lot faster in the speed. So we're going to go into Einstein. They may be inclined to go for Sucker Punch here. I thought, this is perfect, right? I can go for Trick and Ring Target and give them the Ring Target, and then I could do that. But I want to see what they do first. So they went for Confide, which is interesting. Not a movie you get to see. And I got to tell another joke. Okay, here we go. I make horrible science jokes, but only periodically. There you go. There's 7 jokes. I think I've told you guys 7 jokes today. Oh, I'm on fire tonight. We got the Electrode coming in. That Sucker Punch did heaps. I just popped an Explosion normal jam. Now, I had my cheeks clenched here. I was hoping it could take it out in one shot. At last, I took out a Pokemon. I was like, man, it's been an epic fail, like nearly every single time, right? I think the only reason I took that out is because it was had sweeping EVs, like attack and speed. So that's it, a Morgrem. I had to reveal 4 of my team just to get around that. So we're going to go back into Slowking here, and we've got a Hatterene here. So I thought Hatterene, I've used Hatterene a fair bit actually. It's a very, very good Everlight Pokemon. No joke, that's actually very good. And I thought, well, I'll go for Trick, and then I'll get rid of its Everlight, because I'm sure it's got an Everlight. Now, Hatterene is going to have Nuzzle, which is a bit annoying there, so that's going to paralyze me. However, I did manage to get a Trick off, which is good. So I can give that a Ring Target. Not that that's going to do anything at all, except maybe if I had a Dragon move, but my Flapple's already fainted, so I won't be able to try that. So now we got a Hatterene swapping out, interesting enough, so I don't think they could do much to Slowking, I guess. And we have the Ditto coming in. Oh, that's a good one for Ditto. So Ditto, I know they're going to be really thrilled to see my moveset. It's going to be so good. So I went for Future Sight. So now they've got to stare at the best Slowking set in the world there. They're probably like, what is this bullshit? And then I swapped out the Slowking, and then I was thinking, well, I guess I can go into any Pokemon because I know what set I've got. So I went into Deoxys here. I figured they'd probably go Future Sight at most, but then they went Trick. I'm like, oh, this might be okay. So I got an item Trick to me, and then I got a Choice Scarf on my Deoxys, and they got a White Herbaviscus. So I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. That's not all that bad. So Choice Scarf Deoxys, very, very fast. So we've got the Ditto swapping out there, and we have the Darkrai coming in. So I wish I went for Focus Mist. Let's be real, would have missed anyway, right? So here comes Future Sight. I wish I got a Ring Target onto that. Yeah. So that's the Pokemon I wanted to get the Ring Target onto. So I went for Zap Cannon. It's going to miss again. And old Dankrai is going to go for Hypnosis, which missed, thank goodness. Like, okay, cool. I get another shot, right? But then, out of nowhere, it had a blunder policy. So it's like, ooh, this is going to be... I wonder who's going to outspeed here. Because, you know, Deoxys is a lot faster than Darkrai, and it's got a Choice Scarf, but Darkrai's got some good speed too, but blunder policy is +2, so it would have been pretty close, I reckon. So I've got to swap out here. There's nothing I can do, and I'm going to have to go into... I can't really go into Slowking, so I thought, I guess I'll go into Schrodinger, right? Let's give that a shot. It's a double team Darkrai, and it's got Nightshade. It's like, oh, I see. So it's got Hypnosis. Darkrai also had Nightshade and Double Team. So I was kind of curious what the other move is going to be. Is it walled completely by normal types? So is it some sort of like scummy evasion fixed damage set? So the Darkrai is going to keep going for Double Teams here. I was more thinking about getting a Toxic Orb to it or hitting it with a Facade or something like that. The problem is that the longer it took, the more I'd hurt myself with Toxic, but they couldn't put me to sleep at least. So the other move I had was Snarl. Coming off Darkrai's good special attack, it still did a pretty good amount of damage there. So I managed to get a switcheroo off here, which is nice. Darkrai didn't have an item because it got consumed. That blunder policy got consumed earlier on, but you know, I was happy for it just to have the Toxic Orb so it could sort of slowly die to that. And if they wanted to swap it out, they'd have to lose all the double teams. So that was the plan anyway. So swapping out the Persian, I thought I might be able to use that a little bit later on. And then I went into Ironstein again. So I know that I can live a couple of Snarls, but not too many of them. So I can't use Future Sight here. The best I can really do is buy myself a couple of turns while Toxic does a little bit of damage here. I do have a plan to get around it though. Now Darkrai also has Nightshade, which almost does around the same as what Snarl does too. So I went for a trick here. So I wanted to get that Toxic Orb back because I wanted to give that to another Pokemon. Oh, Darkrai had an Everlight. Oh, they had an Everlight. That's why it's hard to keep up with all these items getting switched around so often. So Darkrai is going to finish me off with a Snarl there. I think that was a 3-hit KO regardless. And that's fine. Unfortunately, I lost my Toxic Orb, so I wanted to give that to another Pokemon, but alas, it didn't happen. So we're going to bring in Schrodinger now. They've got Snarl. I thought, look, I could go Protect here, or I could go Facade. How about I go Protect? But they swapped out. I guess they didn't want their Darkrai losing any more health, right? So the next Pokemon we got is going to be Ditto. So that's going to transform into my Persian. Now, this is going to be a speed tie this turn, right? So I was thinking, well, the best move I can get off here is Facade. So I went for Protect. That's going to fail. I can go for Facade here. So I went for Facade, and I was hoping I could one-shot, and I didn't quite one-shot. It was close. Now, the Ditto's going to go for another Switcheroo. And how many times are item changed in these battles, right? So I got a White Herba Mystica, and... wait, I didn't have an item, did I? No, I didn't have an item. That's right. So I was like, all right, well, I'll go for a bite here. So I won both the speed ties there. So I was pretty lucky. I was winning both of them. So that's the end of the Ditto. And now I'm literally on my last legs here. And out comes the Sandaconda. I'm on 2 health here. So I figured I'd either go for a Switcheroo or go for maybe a Facade to get some damage off. So I decided to go for Facade just to get some damage. Sandaconda is going to eat that like a snack, you know. Easy live. And it also got the Sand Pit up there. Sorry, Sand Spit. And it's going to take me out with a Disrespect Wrap, you know. That's where Ekans came out to play. So we're going to go into Deoxys now. Now, Deoxys is Choice Scarf, as you know. And I've got Psycho Boost, so I thought that could be a good idea. If only I had Ring. So there's so many times I could have used Ring Target, right, on the Sandaconda of Zapcan. So I went for the Psycho Boost here, Desperation, and it took it out. I don't know whether that crit mattered or not. I'm not sure what the EVs were as Sandaconda. It definitely seemed to be bulky in defense, but I don't know about special defense. But anyway, now I'm actually locked into Psycho Boost, and we've got the Lycanroc coming. That's actually a good pick there, Lycanroc. Now, I've got Focus Mist, which I can't use. I just went for Psycho Boost, get some damage on it. And it did all right damage. I was happy with that. My special attack is now at -4, and Bite is going to one-shot me easy peasy. I don't think that critical hit mattered at all. Deoxys defense is absolutely garbage. So all I've got left now is my Necrozma. Now, I want to show you something you've probably never ever seen before, right? And I know I say that a lot, but you got to remember, we are on PIMPNITE's channel, right? So we're going to go for that Terra Electric. Now, as you know, I've got the Quick Claw Photon Geyser Charge Beam set. So we're going to Bite here. So Bite doesn't do a lot. And I managed to get a Charge Beam off. So I thought, well, I've got Hatcham left, which isn't bulky anymore. I've got Darkrai, which has got fixed damage, and it's also got Charge Beam. But I think Snarl, but I think I can get around that. So I got a Quick Claw on this turn, and then I managed to get a Charge Beam off, which is good, because that actually meant that Lycanroc couldn't get another attacking move. Like, Bite also had a flinch chance too, so, you know, technically they could have got flinches and some extra Sandstorm damage. So in comes the Darkrai. I got 2 Quick Claws there, back to back, which was really nice, and I managed to get another Charge Beam off, which was good. So I thought I need probably 2 to take out Darkrai here, and you know, it was about 2, right? And I got another Special Attack Rise, which is really, really cool. So Hypnosis is gonna land on my Necrozma. So I was like, damn. So now I'm gonna take Bad Dreams, and I have to get lucky when I wake up, you know. So a little bit of Bad Dreams there. And this is the third. That's 3 Quick Claws in a row. 3 Quick Claws back to back. But I'm asleep this turn, which sucks. So I can't finish off the Darkrai, right? Here comes a Snarl. So dropping my special attack there from my Charge Beams. The Darkrai just lives there. So some more Bad Dreams here. And I went for a Charge Beam this turn. 4 Quick Claws in a row. But this turn, I never woke up either. But watch. So I got 4 Quick Claws back to back. Darkrai is going to go for a Nightshade because it's doing a little bit more, right? So close to taking it out. But Bad Dreams didn't affect me. And you know why? Because the Darkrai actually fainted before the ability kicked in. So I was really lucky there. The last Pokemon is going to be the Hatcham. I know it's got Nuzzle, and that's about it. That's all I know about it. And I woke up and got the Morning Scum off, and Nuzzle, I think Nuzzle is the only attacking move this had. All it had was all other special moves. Status moves. It had like Healing Wish and some other moves too. So it couldn't do anything. It was virtually there, to paralyze the whole team, and then go for a Healing Wish there to, you know, heal up one of the more, offensive Pokemon like a Darkrai or, you know, Lycanroc and stuff like that. So I didn't know this at this point, and I figured it out because they started showing me what the other moves were. But we're going to go for a Disrespect Photon Geyser here, and that's going to be the end of the battle. So I really, really hope you enjoyed today's video. I spent lots of time getting some good battles through it, so I hope you enjoy. Drop a like, leave me a comment, and I've got 2 more theme teams coming this week as well, and some other stuff. Peace out, everyone.